I'm here today, and it's a great pleasure to invite to Through Their Eyes, Jacob. So how you doing, Jacob?
Very good, thank you.
Good, good, good. Well, thank you for joining us. Now, Jacob's going to be our youngest participant in this exercise, in just having a discussion with people of all sorts of generations in terms of how they've managed their self-development and how they future-proof themselves. But Jacob's got one thing that I'm particularly very interested in, because I'm sure he can teach me a lot, is how he's developed his YouTube channel and what he's learned along the way, what's gone well, and obviously what has gone not so well, because we learn in all sorts of different ways through things going well and not so well. Plus, how he's going to put these sort of skills to the future in his current education, and perhaps after education, does he feel that this is something he'd really like to get more involved in? So I'm very interested to hear about those stories, and also the advice he's been given, and also if someone else was setting up this type of adventure, what advice would he give? What advice would he give them? And at the end of the video, at the end of the interview here today on the YouTube and the podcast channel, what we'll do is just get Jacob just to tell us a little bit more about how you can find his YouTube site. It's really good, actually. I've enjoyed it. And there's one particular video that he's done that I'm going to talk about that I'd like him to tell us more about, and then you can go and have a look at it if you're listening or watching this. So to start off with, Jacob, just sort of give us a brief overview of why you set up your YouTube site. What inspired you?
So I discovered YouTube about 5 years ago overall, and I got obsessed really, really quick. I was watching about 10 videos a day at least. It's a lot of YouTube. So over time, I developed that into watching more videos that are beneficial to me in terms of photography and videography, and not just like gaming. More things I was actually interested in developing. So I narrowed that down, and then I realized I was still watching quite a lot because I keep discovering more and more people. So recently, well, I started my channel 3 months ago. So I basically decided to do that because it is a way for me to create what they're creating, and I feel then I can connect better with them, because it's a very, very hard process to make a video a week and edit it and everything when you've got a day job, school, and other things that are going on. So I mainly started it to do that as well.
Brilliant. And what sort of technically, so there's obviously a lot of technical things that you've learned as well along the way. So what are the key technical areas that you've learned from setting up the site?
So there's a few bits of software that I use that you may have heard of by Adobe. So I've got the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite. I've got a subscription to that because I'm a student. It's a lot cheaper. But I've mainly learned a ton of technical things about that because there's a range of softwares. The ones that I mainly use are, first of all, I use Premiere Pro to edit my videos. So this has a bunch of nice effects and stuff that I can make my voice slightly different. I can color grade with it really well. But I've also used Lightroom to do the first color adjustments to my thumbnails and things like that, and then Photoshop to do some final text things and some little extras like that. But overall, it's been a very big learning process of Premiere Pro and a bunch of other things, because I also make graphics and stuff in Illustrator, a few other programs that can pop up in my videos. So
Brilliant.
basically every week since I've started, I have learned a new thing, and some of them have been some very big things. That's a great thing about doing a video a week as well. You learn incredibly quickly.
Yes, yeah, because you learn by doing the experience. It's not theory, it's very practical, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. And what have you learned about yourself in terms of doing this?
I've learned a few weird things and a few good things. So the first weird thing is I say a lot of conjunction words a lot. So the main one for me, you see it in my videos, basically the start of every cut, if you look out for it, is so. So I'll just say so to connect things over and over again. So that's just a thing that I've recognized over time that I will need to use some different conjunction words. That's the main thing that I've learned about myself. I've also
Yeah,
realized as well that my confidence level before doing YouTube wasn't actually that great. I was quite insecure overall, I think, quite introverted, quite to myself. But now by doing YouTube, I feel like I've opened up a bit more. I'm a bit more confident because not many other people can film a video, put it out on the internet for anyone to see and be happy with it. So
yeah.
that's just been a great confidence improver for me.
Yeah, good for you. You wouldn't believe how many people turn me down. Perhaps they just don't want to talk to me, but they turn me down to do this because they're camera shy. So one of my clients today, I emailed him because we were just talking about worky stuff, and I said, "Oh, you know," because he's of an age group that I haven't got that many people to interview, sort of in his 30s.
Yeah,
And I said, "Oh, do you fancy doing one of these?" I sent him all the information. He says, "Oh, I'm really camera shy." And he's got so much to offer.
yeah,
And I guess it's just one of those things in life that you just got to give it a go, haven't you?
yeah. I also found at the start of it, I'm really not that camera shy. It's really odd. I feel like a camera is incredibly easy to talk to for me. Just that lens, just talking to it. It's it's not exactly normal because I know a lot of people that would be like, don't want to talk to it kind of thing, as you're saying.
Yeah,
But for me, it was just instant. I started talking to it, so I find there's a few things that you can do to improve that if you're very camera shy. Just like the main thing is just practice it. Or
yes,
think that's an audience behind the lens. Don't think it's a camera kind of thing.
yeah,
But those are a few things that you can do to help that. But for some people, a lot of younger people actually, it'll become more natural because of things like social media and stuff like that. Now
yeah,
it's becoming much more normal to be developed, saying and doing stuff in front of camera.
yeah. No, that's good advice. So where have you got your content from? Because obviously you've got to come up with some ideas for content for YouTube channel. How have you come up with those ideas?
So over the last year, I've been coming up with a lot of ideas. I get ideas at really, really random times, most of the time in the morning and stuff. But one main thing I find is I have the notes app on my phone, and anytime I get an idea and a few things that will be within it, I just write it down in a notebook that I have called YouTube video ideas. And then I'll put that into a Word document later and finalize it in notebooks and stuff like that. But overall, through watching so many videos, that's the tip that I have. I disliked how many I watched, so don't watch so many. If you're looking to start YouTube, maybe watch 5 a day or something. But watching a lot of videos to do the topic you want to do helps because it means you come up with those ideas a lot
Mm,
quicker overall, and they give you ideas, and you can always just put two videos that other people have done and change them slightly, put them together, and that makes it a lot easier to come up with ideas if you're not good at them. But for me, a lot of this camera creative stuff and talking to a camera and ideas just came naturally over the last year or so.
yeah. And your current video that's up there that people must go and see is your 5 a.m. getting up time. Talk us through
Yeah.
your thoughts on that one and how you came up with that idea.
Yeah, this is one that I've seen a lot of other people do for a while. So a few short plugs. There's a guy called Matt Diavella. He's like a mental health kind of self-improvement kind of YouTuber, and a person called Lizzie Pierce. They both did videos on this, and I I tried it once before, about a year ago actually. I'd only got through 3 days. This time, little spoiler, I got through 4 days out of five. I'm never really gonna be able to do five, I don't think, or progressively on for a long period of time. Why? Like for the reasons that I explained in the video. But through other people making those videos, I came up with that idea, developed it a bit, kind of thing. It's mainly just watching other people's videos, going, "That's a good concept, but I can't just copy their videos,
Yeah.
so I'm going to add my little flair to it, add a few little things," kind of thing.
Yeah, that's brilliant. Good stuff. And is there anything you'd have, when you set up your YouTube project, was there anything you wish you'd have known about it before you started?
Well, before I started, I would have number one, gone with get a bit more gear than I had. I just started with a camera and a onboard mic, which of course people can, it's good enough, but it's
Yeah.
in the actual image you have a lot of noise, and which is like digital grain. It's not exactly pressure pleasurable. And also the audio wasn't the best because onboard mic. Now I do have a mic which is actually over here, just above my set, so I can just sit down and talk. I would say just invest a bit more into gear before you start, but also don't expect it to be amazing. Your first videos aren't going to be great. I look at my first videos at the moment and go, oh, that really wasn't good. Why did I post that kind of thing? But it's all about developing. You put out those bad videos at the start and you just keep on improving. And basically, your first 2 years aren't going to be amazing because you're learning a lot within those 2 years. So I'm still learning a lot. In a few months, I'll probably look back at the 5 a.m. video and go, oh, could have fixed that, should have done this, blah, blah, blah. And I'll just keep on doing that. So don't expect it to be amazing because with this, you're always going to be learning. But if you are going to start YouTube, the best thing that I suggest is make a video a week at least, because that's just the quickest way to learn. And a video a week isn't a massive commitment. It's not like I'm going to put out 3, 5, or some people even 7 videos a week. It's a easier commitment, but it does mean you still progress very quickly.
Yeah, and it is, as you say, it's all about the learning journey of learning as you go
Yeah,
along. I think
it's a
it's
very
wonderful.
large learning curve.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. So what have you enjoyed most about your YouTube project?
Probably the learning aspect again, because I didn't know much really at the start of like this like creative thing for me. I got Creative Cloud software, which was about a year ago now, and I have the whole suite, but I just started with Lightroom. Then 6 months later, started with Photoshop and stuff. So I was only really using 2 out of 31 apps. Um, Admittedly, if I bought those 2 at the same point, it'd be the same amount of money because the student discount is so good. But I felt I should be using this more. I've got it. I've got this opportunity. So that being able to learn is the main thing that I've enjoyed about this. But also the other benefits of it's so much of a confidence booster. If you don't have that much confidence, talking to a camera and uploading it is the best thing you can do, I feel, because anyone can see it. Anyone that has a digital device, which most people do nowadays, can see it. You may even get a tiny bit of hate from it, but it is a confidence booster. And as long as you can cope with that hate, it's amazing for your mental health.
Good for you. No, I think it's absolutely superb, and that's why I was so keen to have a chat with you. The most challenging part?
Jeez. So this was probably learning again. There's some very, very complicated stuff. So I opened it the other day. It's software called After Effects, another Adobe thing. Instant closed it down. It is way too complicated for me at the moment. You got multiple windows. I'm not dealing with that basically. But that was what Premiere Pro looked like to me at the start. But there's a few amazing videos on YouTube for beginners and stuff, like 30-minute ones that just show you a few tiny little things. Great ways to export, because there's a few ways you can also export to bypass YouTube's way of condensing your video, basically. So by exporting at higher bit rates and stuff like that, the way that YouTube condenses it, it then just looks the same again if you export a certain bit rates and things.
Yeah.
So learning and stuff was a very hard part overall, but also there's one other one which was coming up with, well, not coming up with ideas because that was easy for me, but developing them and developing them into a congruent story and way that would be beneficial to the user and listener that just carried on and was very flowing. But there's one other thing, one final thing that is like I'm still developing it. I'm going to keep on developing. It's not great at the moment. Is I'm not very concise overall. You may notice it in a few videos, but I will say a point a few times or ramble a bit too long about it. Like you've already got the point, like halfway through me talking, and I just keep talking about it.
Yeah.
So that's just one thing that I will continue to develop over time, just to develop to be more precise and overall.
Yeah.
That
That's only
just
because you've got a passion for the subject, and
yeah,
as you say, you're incredibly self-aware.
yeah,
So it's just something you can start to work on. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. You're passionate about what you're talking about, and it just takes a bit of practice. So
yeah.
that's really
And
good stuff.
that speaking thing is just another thing that YouTube helps overall because you're talking so much to the camera. So my speaking skills in the future may actually be a lot better than some of my classmates that maybe don't do YouTube overall.
Yeah.
That's just another thing that will benefit me in the future and another way of really future-proofing yourself.
Oh, that's a lovely link to my last question. So thank you very much for that. That's very nicely done. So these new skills in what you've learned and how you've developed, how do you feel that you could use these for your future in your education and perhaps beyond?
Well, yeah, speaking number one. And another one is in the future, I'm looking to develop and build a media company potentially. And of course, video making, photo production, all this other stuff is very helpful for that. And
Mm,
that was my main reason why I started YouTube was it was a way I could learn to make videos without any like benchmark or thing I had to meet. It was just a way to develop and so I could know how to make videos before I went into this business style of world overall.
brilliant, brilliant. Great. Well, that's been absolutely superb. Thank you very much, Jacob, spending some time with me today to discuss these. And I
Great,
really
thanks.
do look forward to following your progress. And
Yeah,
if you're okay, we can put your details on the YouTube, on my YouTube video on the site,
yeah.
so people can find you. But if people are listening to this on the podcast, how can they find your YouTube site? What do they need to plug in?
So at the moment, I'm on two social media sites. YouTube number one, so that's just Jacob Priddle, and the same for Instagram.
Okay, and so you post on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, I post thumbnails and extra photos about my life and extra things like that on YouTube. So if you want a bit more, go to Instagram.
Yeah.
But general video stuff is YouTube.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time. That's been very interesting, and I'll be
Okay.
knocking on your door for some tips and hints myself as I develop my YouTube site. It's not always easy, and you're absolutely right. Sometimes you just got to give it a go and get
Yeah,
out there and
just got
tweak
to
it
start.
and slowly develop. And you're absolutely right. Some of the ones I've done, I've looked at and gone, "Oh my goodness." And then obviously people give you lots of wonderful advice.
Yeah, yeah.
But sometimes, the best thing to do is just to crack on and you learn and develop as you go. So thank you very much for that. That's really appreciated. And
Okay.
I look forward to continuing to watching. Perhaps you could do not a 5 o'clock challenge, perhaps 6 o'clock, but not 5 o'clock.
6 o'clock's my daily.
Oh, good for you.
Used to
Good for you.
that.
Okay, well, thanks very
Okay.
much. And I'll look forward to speaking to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.